This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
So I want to follow on from the previous video that I've done about a day or so ago, where Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury just so happened to be in the very same country, in the very same city, in the very same street as each other, and just happened to bump into each other. Coincidence? Of course it wasn't a coincidence. Both guys knew that the other one was going to be there at that specific time. Of course they did. But why? Well, because there's certain things going on behind the scenes. Now, I came up with a potential, I didn't say this is what was going to happen, I don't have any kind of inside intel on this one. I just come up with well, maybe these guys are looking at their whole landscape right now, and Joshua's thinking, well, why would I take on Kubrat Pulev next, and then Alexander Usyk, and then go fight Fury? I'm confident, but anything can happen. Fury can look at it and go, well, why rematch Wilder, and then go fight Dillian Whyte, while I'm confident, anything can happen. Why risk it? It's risk first reward. So potentially vacate the belts. Now, first of all, before we go too much further, it's not like if they did decide to fight next and not their mandatories or rematches with Wilder, it's not like all the belts are going to be vacated. No, because Fury, he will still have the Ring Magazine and Lineal, if you put any kind of stock into Lineal. So he'll still have those two titles. And when you look at the Ring Magazine, the Rocky Balboa belt, people look on that as whoever holds that belt in each division is the man of that division. That's how people look at it. So Fury will walk there with the Ring Magazine over his shoulder. Anthony Joshua will still walk to the ring as Super WBA World Heavyweight Champion and IBO World Heavyweight Champion. So belts will still be on the line, just that it won't be for undisputed. Now, I understand people saying how Joshua versus Fury, or Fury versus Joshua, however it is you prefer it, it goes from a mega fight to a colossal fight if undisputed is on the line. And I'm with you, of course it is. But at the end of the day, why would they vacate to do it now? Risk first reward. Also, they're going to be saving a few quid to put into their pocket as well, because they're not paying the sanction fees, they're not paying the WBC, they're not paying the IBF, they're not paying the WBO. 3% of each one, that's 12% of that purse. That these guys can have 6% of that each. That's probably a good couple of million. So why give them the money when you can just pocket it yourself? At the end of the day, this is prize fighting. Yes, both of them would love to hold all the belts at the same time and officially be called Undisputed Heavyweight Champion. And of course, the first 4-belt holder Undisputed Champion at heavyweight. I've said this before, Lennox Lewis was the last undisputed champion, but he didn't have the WBO because it wasn't a factor back then, but now it is. So now it's 4 belts. So yes, both of them would love to have it, but it's risk first reward. That's how I'm saying it. And again, let's not forget Eddie Hearn, he done an interview with IFL a few days ago where he said, well, potentially we might have to vacate a belt or so. So there you go. Now, again, you could look at it and say, but Wilder, he has a rematch with Tyson Fury. There's no way Tyson Fury can get out of it. Well, he can get out of it. Vacate the belt. Did anything happen to him? Did he get fined? Did he get suspended? Did he get kicked out of boxing forever because he didn't rematch Vladimir Klitschko? No, he didn't, did he? He's lost all the belts. But if you're going to give up the belt anyway, hey, it is what it is. Now, Wilder, he won't become champion automatically, not at all. If Fury did vacate the belt, the WBC, the interim World Heavyweight Champion, Dillian Whyte, will become full champion. He can then defend that belt against Deontay Wilder. So Wilder, he's still getting his world title shot. It just won't be against Fury. Again, let's not forget, Fury was, he replaced Dillian Whyte as mandatory challenger. So a rematch clause wasn't even necessary. So they can always go down that legal route, and if necessary, may have to pay Wilder a little bit of money. But with the money that they're saving from the sanctioning bodies, just give him that. At least get the fight on now. Maybe that's what it is that they're thinking. Now, for me, personally, I think Joshua, he will fight Pulev next. And I think Fury will fight Wilder next. Both of these guys will be fully confident that Joshua's going to beat Pulev and Fury's going to beat Wilder. Both of these are going to be very confident. You never know, of course. It's heavyweight. Let's not overlook anybody. But it's the one after that is a huge risk for both fighters. You may favour Fury to beat Dillian Whyte. You may favour Joshua to beat Alexander Usyk. Ain't no guarantees. None whatsoever. So again, both of them will be mandatories, and they don't have to sign a rematch clause. If Dillian Whyte don't want a rematch clause, Fury ain't getting a rematch clause. If Usyk don't want a rematch clause, he ain't getting a rematch clause. So if either one of those beat either Fury or Joshua, well, there you go. There's the undisputed belts gone and a loss on the resume. Now, currently, Joshua, Fury, they both have defeated every man that they've ever faced. We know Fury's got a draw on his resume. It should have been a win, but it's officially a draw, and he avenged that by a win. Joshua's got a loss on his resume and avenged it with a win. So both guys have defeated every man that they've ever faced. Now, for those who want to talk about undisputed, I fully get it. Of course, I support you. Of course I do. But people were calling for Joshua versus Fury way before any talk of an undisputed championship. Way before any talk of that. So people have always wanted to see it. It's just that now you're putting a little bit more fairy dust on it. It's becoming a little bit more magical, isn't it? But what if we can get Fury versus Joshua for undisputed? Mega fight, colossal fight. Biggest fight in the history of boxing. That's what a lot of people will call it. Will it be the biggest fight in boxing? I don't know. The numbers will dictate that once they're in. But it wouldn't surprise me if both of these guys vacate. Not at all. Personally, as I said, I do believe that Fury will fight Wilder, Joshua will fight Pulev, but I think then we're going to see a vacate. We've seen Fury talk about vacating the WBC anyway, saying that he's not going to be forced to fight any mandatory that he doesn't want to fight. He'll do what he wants to do. I'm Lineal champion. Ring Magazine is what it is. And nobody going to dictate it to me. This is what Fury says. So him vacating the belt shouldn't really surprise you. He's done it before. Maybe he'll do it again. Joshua, of course, he's never vacated a belt. He doesn't want to vacate belts. In fact, he likes belt collecting. He said that. He wants to be undisputed champion. But it wouldn't surprise me if they vacate the belts and then Dillian Whyte will take on Deontay Wilder. Big fight, right? Alexander Usyk will take on Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is currently the #1 in the WBO, of course, with Usyk being the mandatory. So the winners of those two fights may fight each other, and then the winners of that one will then fall straight in line for when Joshua and Fury have their back-to-back fights, and they can fight each other for undisputed. So there is still a chance for undisputed. It just means that, I mean, the time frame isn't too much difference. The only thing is whoever gets the other belts, are they willing to do undisputed? For my money, I think that if Wilder was to somehow get WBC belt back again, we ain't seeing undisputed anytime soon. That's my only issue. If Dillian Whyte gets the belt, he'll certainly fight for undisputed. If Alexander Usyk gets the belt, he'll certainly fight for undisputed. Joseph Parker, again, he'll certainly fight for undisputed. So for me, the only problem is Wilder. That's the only problem. Or potentially Pulev. But anyway, it is what it is. For me, as I said, there's no guarantees of anything. So them vacating this isn't a surprise for me. I know people don't want them to vacate. People want to see Joshua come through Pulev and go fight Usyk. People want to see Fury come through Wilder and fight Dillian Whyte. Because let's be honest, if Fury gets past those two and Joshua gets past those two, and then they fight each other, the winner of that one has most certainly deserved the undisputed world heavyweight title fights. Because that's one hell of a gauntlet that they've gone through. One hell of a gauntlet. Plus with the fighters that they've already beaten, like the Klitschko's and that of the world. So whoever wins that one is legitimately the #1. And that's what the bragging point is. It's all about bragging rights. Yes, I want to be undisputed, but why have the belts on the line when you can save yourself a few quid? It's not like a regular fight, that 3% where you make it a sanctioning body maybe 50 grand or 100 grand. No, not at all. We're talking a good couple of million here, maybe a bit more. Why give it to them? You can just pocket for yourself. Anyway, as I said, it just wouldn't surprise me if they vacate a couple of the belts. But there again, it wouldn't surprise me if they don't. So anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click thumbs up to this video. Make sure you are subscribed. And most importantly, make sure that you're safe. You're keeping within the social distancing, all that kind of stuff. End of the day, health is wealth. Correct? Anyway, drop your thoughts below. And I'll catch you all on the next video.